Payday is here, and it's super exciting to see that chunk of money sitting in your bank account. But tomorrow or the next day, it's really gonna suck when it sinks in that that chunk of money is gone to pay all the bills, or worse yet, you have to play bill roulette and figure out how to rob Peter to pay Paul just so you can juggle all your bills and still have enough money to eat and get to work. Hey everyone, I'm Rose Colburn, and in today's video, we're talking about the dreaded paycheck to paycheck cycle. We'll walk through some actionable steps to break free from this cycle, explore what causes so many people to get trapped here in the first place, and discuss what you can do to stay out once you break free. But first, I'm sure you have a couple of questions, so let's address those right away. The one thing I hear most often when talking to people is, how long will this take? I get it. No one likes living from one paycheck to the next, and when they're ready to break the cycle, they want to get out as quickly as possible. However, the first thing that you need to know is this is not an overnight transformation. It's not something that'll happen by magic. It's a process of creating better habits, step by step, and making changes that you can sustain over time. Every person's financial situation is different, but you should start noticing a shift in just a few weeks. You'll find yourself managing your money better and feeling more in control of your finances. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't have to last forever, and you can erase this cycle from your financial story forever. Once you get started, it becomes easier and easier, especially once you start seeing the results. Which brings us to the second question most people have. Is this going to be difficult? So let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to change any of your habits in the past? Maybe start exercising, change your diet, wake up earlier, or anything else? Well, then you already know there's going to be some initial struggles when breaking away from this habit of living from paycheck to paycheck. But the most important question to ask yourself is this: is it worth it? Absolutely! Living paycheck to paycheck sucks. So while the initial steps of breaking free aren't going to be easy, in the end, it's going to be worth it when you're living a life that is closer to your goals of financial freedom. Imagine no longer worrying about whether you'll have enough money for unexpected expenses or feeling constantly anxious when payday is just around the corner and you're wondering how you're going to have enough money to get to the end of the week. But to reach that point, you first have to figure out how you got stuck in this cycle in the first place. Knowing the answer to that question is the key to breaking free. Imagine this. Your friends invite you to the latest restaurant or a new movie that just came out, and you're stuck either coming up with an excuse of why you can't go because you can't afford it, or you're trying to juggle your bills to come up with the money, which only puts you further in the hole. Either way, it's not ideal. The truth is, breaking free from this cycle starts with self-awareness. When you find yourself stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle, it's not just about the amount of money that you make, it's about the patterns and habits that keep you from making progress. Ask yourself, are you spending money out of habit or to keep up appearances? Do you avoid looking at finances because it feels overwhelming and discouraging? Most people don't realize that the first step to breaking the cycle is to stop blaming external factors, start taking control of what's within your power to change. That means looking at your financial situation without judgment and identifying the small, manageable changes that you can make to your spending habits. For instance, are there certain spending triggers that push you to splurge when you shouldn't? Maybe you justify expenses because you feel like you deserve it after a tough week. Or maybe you avoid facing your debt out of fear of seeing how much you owe. Here's where the breakthrough happens. When you start recognizing those triggers and emotional connections, you can create a plan that aligns with your real goals, not just short-term relief or from social pressure. Awareness is key. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. The very first thing you need to do is take an honest and hard look at your income and your spending. This is the hardest part of the process, but it's something that will be well worth it if you want to escape this cycle. This step involves diligently writing down every source of income that you have and recording everything you spend for at least a month. Track everything you earn or any kind of money that comes into the house, whether that's from your job, a side hustle, or even something that you sell off. Track every dollar and review your spending patterns at the end of the month. Tracking your income and your expenses is only part of the equation. Once you've taken time to track absolutely everything, then you need to ask yourself, what's essential? What's impulsive? What aligns with my goals? What's just filling a void? It's going to be a real headache, I know, but it's absolutely necessary because it's so easy for the experts to tell you to cut expenses, spend less, budget your money, and all sorts of other advice. But they don't know your financial situation. And the truth is, neither do you if you've never taken the time to seriously look at everything you earn in a month and everything you spend. By doing this, you're able to see if you're actually spending money in areas that can be cut back on for a time. Spending the time doing this and the awareness you gain from these insights lay the foundation you need to break free so that you can start taking actionable steps to change your financial story. Personally, I always felt like every single dollar I spent was unnecessary expenses, and I believed there was nothing that I could cut out. There was no room for cutting back anywhere. But when things got really tight one month, I decided to start tracking all my expenses and income. I'd heard this advice over and over and over again from the financial experts. So I figured I would just do it just to prove them wrong because I was sick of hearing it. What I discovered, though, were two small expenses that were adding up without even me realizing it. The first one was my best friend kept borrowing money from me. It was only $20 twice a month. She always paid me back. But the problem was that I'd gotten into the habit of taking that money and putting it in a drawer because I knew that she was going to be likely to borrow that money again. So in reality, that $40 never made its way back into my bank account and it couldn't be used in my budget. The second one was even more surprising. We had a small ice cream stand just down the street with a kid's special every Friday. For just $5, I could get ice cream cones for me and all the kids. Felt like such a small treat, but over the course of the month, that $5 actually added up to $20. $5 this week, $5 next week, the third week, the fourth week, there goes $20. You combine that with the $40 that I was loaning out, and that equaled up to $60. It was slipping away every month without me noticing. This exercise taught me two things. First of all, even when we think we're being diligent with our money and not splurging on anything, there's always a chance that something small is creeping in without us noticing, and even small expenses can make a huge difference. In my coaching program, I developed a system of 3 budgeting levels that are designed to help people at different stages of their financial journey because everybody's financial situation is different. These levels are not just about cutting expenses, but about creating a structure that fits your current situation and supports your long-term financial freedom. The foundational reset budget is designed for rebuilding stability. The sustainable growth budget helps maintain a balance while steadily growing and building towards your financial goals. And for those who are ready to move into reaching financial freedom, the freedom building budget, which focuses on continued financial growth and health. So today I want to introduce you to the sustainable growth budget, which most of my clients use when they're starting out. It's perfect for getting back on track without feeling deprived. This budget focuses on finding balance between cutting back where necessary and giving yourself room to breathe so that you can make real progress. So here's how it works. First, you identify all your essential expenses and set them as your priority. Things like gas, utilities, rent, food, everything essential that you spend money on every month. From there, create a target savings rate, let's say 10 to 20%, which goes directly into your emergency fund or towards debt repayment. At the same time, keep a portion of your budget available for moderate discretionary expenses, things that you want to spend money on but aren't absolutely necessary. That way you're not cutting back to the point of burnout. This approach helps you stay committed longer without the overwhelm or exhaustion that can come from a super strict plan. But beyond immediate changes, this budget is also designed to help you build a future-proof financial plan. So what do I mean by a future-proof financial plan? Well, financial freedom is more than focusing on the now. It's about anticipating unexpected expenses and planning for the bigger goals that you want to achieve in the future. When you establish a consistent savings habit with the sustainable growth budget, you're not just covering short-term gaps, but you're setting yourself up to handle emergencies, economic and financial changes, or even new opportunities that may come your way. So now that you've taken actionable steps to break the cycle, the next challenge is making sure that you don't fall back into it. Because while setting up a budget and paying down debt is crucial, true financial freedom goes beyond the numbers. After I got out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, I felt relieved, but not completely at ease. Even though my finances were technically more stable, I still felt an underlying stress and anxiety whenever unexpected expenses came up. I started to realize that getting out of the cycle wasn't just about cutting expenses and tracking money. It was also about changing the way I thought and the way I felt about money. The truth is, your financial situation doesn't change with better budgeting. A better mindset is also an essential key to creating lasting change. Shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset is more than just a nice idea. It's essential for staying out of the cycle for good. Instead of focusing on what you lack or the past mistakes you've made, shift your focus to where you're going. When we talk about shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, it's really about moving from a place of feeling limited to recognizing the abundance all around you and the abundance that you truly have. A scarcity mindset is like wearing blinders that keep you focused only on what you're lacking instead of what you have. It's rooted in a sense of fear and worry with thoughts like, I don't have it right now, then I'll never have it. The mindset keeps you trapped in a cycle of worrying about what's missing from your life. When you keep replaying those stories, they shape your choices and keep you from moving forward. Instead, adopting an abundance mindset allows you to break free from that fear and start seeing life as full of possibilities and potential. It's about moving away from a now or never mindset and embracing the not yet, but soon perspective of life. It's about understanding that wealth, success, and opportunities aren't limited or something that's going to go away, but are available whenever you're ready to receive them. To shift your mindset, start by acknowledging even the smallest wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you're on the right path. Let go of that narrative that there's not enough or that you're not enough, and instead focus on what you can create and build. It's not just about the numbers on a spreadsheet, but about the stories you tell yourself. When you change that story, You change the outcome. By embracing abundance, you're no longer held back by the fear of loss or failure. You allow yourself to open up to new opportunities, build more meaningful connections in the flow of life. You can stop focusing on what you don't have and start looking at what you can create. It's the belief that there's always enough money, opportunities, and resources for you to thrive and succeed. Breaking free from living the paycheck to paycheck cycle isn't just about managing your money better. It's about rewriting your financial story and building a life of true freedom and abundance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.